And Patrick in Chicago says, hi, Lauren. It's been a true pleasure getting to listen to you all year. Thank you. That's really, really nice. I will happily give you a thumbs up if I drive next to you in any time in the future. Yeah, we're going to do this a little bit later on. We did it yesterday. We want a thumbs up all round across the UK as people are driving home for Christmas.
In the Midwest, you know the best is there waiting, so come and join the conversation. I still approve, fan and artist and creator too. This is how the challengers do. What? Keep the conversation moving along. Keep reading comics, keep your local store strong. It gets hard, then it's a job for the challengers. What? Comics and conversation, y'all.
From Challengers Comics and Conversation in Chicago, this is Contest of Challengers, a comics industry business podcast with
Patrick Brower.
Patrick Brower.
Patrick Brower.
Patrick Brower.
Patrick Brower.
Patrick Brower.
Patrick Brower and W. Dal Bush.
W. Dal Bush.
Dal Bush.
Del Bush.
Dal.
Del.
W. Dal Bush.
And a happy Boxing Day to you.
And to you as well. And to our Canadian friend.
Just the one?
The only one I know who's listening.
Only one?
Maybe there's more listening. If there's more than one Canadian listening, thank you for listening, friends.
Sure. It's Boxing Day everywhere, not just...
I mean, on my calendar, it's specifically listed as a Canadian holiday. So, I mean,
weird.
I don't know if it's still observed in the United Kingdom or not.
It's very much a British holiday, for sure.
Not anymore. Now it's Canadian.
Oh,
they took it. You know why? Because it's a boring holiday.
Wow.
Happy Boxing Day, friends.
So I want to give a little insight as to how things are currently working for us specifically.
Okay.
And it's going to sound like a very broken record. But so traditionally, on a Wednesday afternoon, when it's not Christmas Day, although it was done yesterday, but anyway, on a Wednesday afternoon, we will post on the website a list of the new releases for the following Wednesday.
Right.
Usually by like 3 p.m., 3 a.m., 3 in the afternoon, usually earlier. The website will get a listing of what's coming out the following Wednesday.
Right.
So, for example, for this week, it would be for January 1st. And at the same time, an email is written up that goes out on Thursday that emails all that information to people, along with other small tidbits about events or what have you.
Right. Signings and whatnot.
And the way these lists are created is by breaking down invoices from the multiple distributors that we use. And traditionally, on Thursdays of the prior week, so virtually 2 weeks in advance of release date, I will break down the Penguin Random House invoices, which consist of Marvel, IDW, Dark Horse, Penguin Random House themselves,
Seven Seas, Kodansha,
Square Enix.
Yeah.
And then break that down in the separate categories and make a list. And I used to be able to do Lunar on Thursdays as well. That's all changed when DC changed back to Wednesday shipping. So that's anywhere from Friday, Saturday, Monday. That I do that. And then it was traditionally the next Tuesday that we'd get the Diamond invoices and break that down. So that would be the last thing I did to get the list done for the following week. So a week and a half out, it goes Thursday, Friday, Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, get the list for next week.
Right.
Okay, so there's multiple steps of multiple days being involved.
Right.
And like I said, Lunar throws a wrench into things because they don't have a specific time.
Yeah, and I mean, for a minor detail point, we order from a lot more distributors than that, but as far as new product goes, as far as the weekly releases are concerned, it is just Diamond, Lunar, and Penguin Random House. Anybody else, we order on pretty much a reorder only basis.
Yeah, I mean, there's things like, Hachette or Southern Hobby, where there are occasional new releases, gaming releases for sure.
Right.
Toy releases. But yeah, that gets the gist of it. And that's honestly the people that come in every Wednesday, that's the information they're looking for.
Right.
They're not necessarily concerned with what Friday does a new Pokemon set come out. I
mean, there are people who are interested, and I'm going to put a little pin right now to say, Brian, I'm not responding to your text because I am currently recording a podcast.
Fair enough.
Yeah. The other stuff that comes in is kind of like the new comics and new graphic novels are kind of the main thing that people want to know about.
Yeah.
While we do list other merchandise that comes in, specifically from Diamond, that being on the list or not being on the list is not a factor to almost anyone that we're corresponding with as far as our customers are concerned. The information that we're relaying to them, they want to know what's coming out from Marvel, DC, Dark Horse, Image, blah, blah, blah.
But if we have the ability to update that information, we put it in.
Of course, yeah. I mean, the more accurate we can make it, the better. You never know when someone's going to see some random thing and go like, oh, I got to come in and make sure I get that statue or action figure or magnet or whatever.
Now, the last couple of weeks, i.e. month, and still moving forward into the future, Diamond has thrown a huge wrench into things by not shipping out on their regular schedules because of their warehouse consolidation. Not ideal for them, not ideal for us.
No.
Fine. Specifically last week, after everything was said and done, and even the website had been updated and an email went out.
The week of Christmas we're talking about?
This is the week before, leading up to Christmas.
Okay. So like
the Sunday before Christmas.
Okay. Just to kind of get the calendar straight in my head.
The Sunday before Christmas, after our website was updated for the December 26 releases, and after the email had went out for the December 26 releases, I noticed on Diamond's website on a Sunday that shipping updates had been updated, and we were getting a bunch of product on Tuesday, Christmas Eve.
Yeah, some Boom stuff and some other things.
Which means that it'd be available for New Comic Book Day this week, which is the 26th.
Yeah, Thursday the 26th.
But it would have been, normally, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, if we got in on a Tuesday any week, it would be like it goes on sale then on new release day.
So I spend time re-editing. I can't change the email. The email's already sent. I'm not going to send a new one.
Especially because the amount of stuff that we'd be getting in on this order was not huge.
But I mean, it was enough it was a bunch of new, it was stuff.
I mean, it was like, I'm saying updating things like the website was a good idea, but the idea of sending out an email, if it's anything less than like an entire distributor's batch of product, it would be useful to do it if it was like a full thing. But this was a much smaller week from Diamond where it was like, it was seriously like 3 Boom comics, maybe a couple Dynamite comics, and a few graphic novels. It was not a gigantic batch of stuff.
So I changed the website, changed the new release lists internally, and make sure that your list for Making the Spaces is correct.
Yeah.
And then Tuesday afternoon.
Now, let me also jump in and say at this point, I'm Tuesday, which was Christmas Eve, I was working 11 to 6 by myself. And a lot of what I was doing was prepping everything for the new release day on Thursday. That's usually what I do on a Tuesday, is make sure that everything is ready for the new releases. That means everything is pulled for subscribers. That means everything on the New This Week wall has been pulled from the last week, and then all of the new spaces are made for this week, so that at the end of the night, everything can go out on the shelves. And one of the things I do in the middle of the day is take the orders that we've checked in that are going to go on the shelves from all 3 of the distributors that we get from, and combine them all into one kind of alphabetical grouping so they're easier to go up on the shelves, because we don't have like a Lunar New This Week section, a Penguin New This Week section. We have a New This Week section. So all of the books, Avengers and then Batman and then Conan and then blah, blah, blah. So they're all in one group together. And I was not doing that on Tuesday because it's like, well, I got to wait for UPS to show up with the remainder of the Diamond order. I don't want to have to get everything organized and then have to reorganize everything based on whatever else comes in.
Sure. You're managing your time better.
Yeah. And UPS usually is in like around noon on a Tuesday. This is Christmas Eve. I get it. They'll be in when they're in. So I kept not doing that part of the task because I was waiting for the Diamond stuff to show up.
So I just double check the shipping, and it turns out that suddenly they're not coming in Tuesday or Thursday. They're not coming in until Friday of this week, which at this point, they still haven't come in.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I get it if shipping changes by a day.
Sure.
And I also get that it can't be a day because that day was Christmas.
Right.
But it's by 2 days. So then I have to go back and undo everything extra
Jesus.
I had just done. And I was feeling a little bit smug, like, hey, look at us. We're on top of things. So we make sure that everything is updated so our customer base gets the complete information.
Diamond threw us a curveball on Sunday and we caught it on Tuesday. And it's like, oh, wait, no.
No, I caught it on Sunday.
Yeah. Now it's too late.
And then I had to retroactively drop it on Tuesday. So I messaged you and said, well, that sucks.
Uh-huh.
And you said, haha, I didn't even notice that.
Mm-hmm.
I've been putting off all this work.
I would have figured it out when UPS showed up, but it just so happened that UPS hadn't shown up.
Sure.
So it was just like me kind of finding other things to do, and people came in and whatever. But it's like, I would have gotten that more crucial stuff done earlier in the day, so I would have less, not anxiety about it, but like it would feel less pressured when I was then like at 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and I know we're closing in a couple hours, and it's like, okay, now I'm doing all this stuff.
So that's just super annoying.
It's not great.
And it's so much extra work that's completely unnecessary.
Yeah, I had to scribble in on my sheet of spaces for the new this week section.
All the new stuff.
All this additional stuff, and then cross it all off.
Yep.
Okay, great.
So now we get to today, which is a Thursday.
Boxing Day.
And I had already
Happy Boxing Day.
done it's Boxing Day. I've heard this, yes. I don't, never mind. I was going to make a terrible Netflix boxing reference and I won't even stoop to that level. I just read a headline of an article that said NFL and Netflix is, quote, a home run for the streamer.
Wow.
Not a touchdown.
Nope.
A home run.
Nope.
A home run.
It's a real Bo Jackson thing.
So, working around the holidays, specifically the Christmas holiday as well, and trying to get everything ready to have the same information available for next week's books, I had done everything on Tuesday like normal this week on Christmas Eve.
Oh.
I'd updated the website on Christmas Eve rather than on Wednesday. I did it a day early because I had information. And I had the email all queued up, but I didn't schedule it.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I'll be around on Boxing Day. I'll send it. I'll just send it. I won't schedule it. I'll just send it. It'll be at a random time. It'll be fine. So today I sit down to pull down the PRH invoice, and I do, and I go to break it down, and I say, wait a minute, this is real familiar. And sure enough, and when I pull an invoice down, it's not next week's, it's 2 weeks.
Okay, 2 weeks out.
It's not quite a full 2 weeks out. It's 13 days out.
Sure.
And I pulled on the invoice, and it's all next week's books. And I thought, that's really weird. And I double-checked the date. I'm like, no, it's January 8th. That's the right invoice date.
2 weeks out. Yeah.
And then I go back and look at January 1st invoice, and it's completely different than everything that we have on our website.
Oh, no.
And then I panic and look at everybody else. Like, no, it's just PRH. Everybody else is fine.
Okay.
So I have to go adjust and take everything out from PRH and plug in all the new stuff. But I mean, I had to do new call-outs, new images.
Right, of course.
Luckily, I hadn't sent that email because I didn't get everything done until about 1:30.
Oh, my gosh.
And the email would have gone out at 1.
Yeah.
And it's just so stupidly frustrating.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And then it's like, oh, gosh, here's all these things I didn't even know were coming out next week. Like Deadpool Wolverine #1. Or Captain America, Sam Wilson Captain America #1.
Yep. Taking the place of the other Captain America book, which you had pointed out to me was ending. And I went, really? And I looked at the end of the current issue and was like, oh, yeah, this is it. We're done.
Also, this Sam Wilson series is a 5-issue mini.
Right. I mean, I assume they'll do a new Cap book by a different creative team in the summertime.
This will just get to the movie coming out.
Right.
Yeah, it was a different. And also, it killed my whole introductory paragraph about, hey, we're starting with 2 Kyle Starks books. No, we're starting with none.
Oh, whoops.
That's next week.
We're starting January 8th with 2 Kyle
Yeah,
Starks books.
and next week he doesn't get the call out because it's Lucky Devils.
Yeah.
So I fixed the website, so it's not up anymore. If anybody looked yesterday and looks again today, they'd be like, wait a minute.
Thanks.
I don't think anyone will. And the email's correct.
Cool.
But it was just such another extra pile of work
Yeah.
this week.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it wasn't my mistake to begin with, but I don't, like, they usually don't have invoices that far in advance.
Yeah, I mean, I assume because of the holidays and because of the way that their warehouses are closed different days, they're getting pretty far ahead.
Yeah.
Like, I think...
Because the invoices that I pulled on today are the furthest ones you can get. Like, they're the latest ones you can get to.
Mm-hmm. Like, we almost received next week's PRH stuff on Tuesday of this week, but then it was delayed because it just, for whatever reason, the UPS took a little longer. I guess because of the holiday.
Yeah. And it came today.
Okay, yeah, and so that's a little earlier than it normally would have been, so I think they're kind of progressively, like, staggering stuff a little earlier out.
Yeah.
And then...
Which is great, because tomorrow is Lunar and last week's Diamond.
Sure.
So getting
That Diamond
PRH
stuff
as
has
well.
got a lot, though.
Yeah, but that's not the point.
But
the point
it's still time to unpack it, I get it.
And there's also a Lunar reorder tomorrow as well.
Okay.
So it's technically everybody tomorrow, but
That's
not the full order. And they're small orders, and honestly, DC's output for the 8th alphabetically ends at DC versus Vampires.
Amazing. I was a little surprised this past week, Christmas week, that DC had as much stuff out as they did.
Yeah.
There's only 4 release weeks in December, not 5. So I think if there had been 5, I think they would have found a way to kind of, like, pad things out a little. It sounds like that's what they're doing for January.
It would have been 5 if they were still delivering on Tuesdays.
It's true.
I'm sorry, still releasing on Tuesdays.
But the amount of stuff they released was kind of eye-popping to me, because I don't know what the right amount of product would be for Christmas week, because there's kind of 2 schools of thought on a big holiday week, which is, 1, don't release a lot of stuff because no one's around, so it's just going to get overshadowed by next week's books. No one's going to see it. Or a 2-part second opinion, which is, the first part, stores need product. So please don't give us nothing.
Yeah.
Because then it's kind of hard to pay next week's bill because we didn't have a lot of stuff coming in this week. And the other part is, yeah, it's a holiday, but also a lot of people are just off of work the next couple days, not out of town on vacation doing family stuff. So it's easier for them to get to the stores. So you might as well have a bunch of new product out, because people have time to go to the stores and people have time to read it.
Yeah, I never want to skip week between Christmas and New Year's like there have been occasionally in the past. But I also want a little bit more product than DC is putting out on the 8th. Although, to be fair, one of those is Absolute Batman.
It'll do it.
So that'll help. But yeah, knowing that alphabetically their output ends at DC versus Vampires.
Yeah.
No, there's nothing on the back half.
Yeah, and their big all-in book is Aquaman, which we did not get a lot of pre-orders for.
No.
So we are now going to have a ton of those on the shelf.
We'll have a decent amount.
But we'll not have a ton of them on the shelf.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that Jeremy Adams is their go-to guy for all the core DC people now.
Which is cool. I mean,
he did a long run on the Flash.
Yeah.
He's doing Green Lantern. He's doing Aquaman.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a dude that kind of slots in pretty well alongside, like, a Mark Waid, a Josh Williamson, a Tom Taylor, a guy who's just good at kind of the basic superhero stuff.
Yeah.
Without necessarily being, like, you know, a super inventive guy or someone who's trying to, like, reinvent the wheel. You know, I think you need, especially for some of those, like, characters that have been maybe not well served by previous creative teams. I think you sometimes need a guy that just, like, reset things and be like, I don't know, it's Aquaman. He's got, like, he can talk to fish and he's got new water powers and Mira's in it and he's going to be underwater a lot.
And
like, let's just
water
do that.
kaiju.
Yeah, let's just do that. I thought the first issue of Aquaman was very solid. I don't know if it's a series that I'm
which
gonna
is weird
keep up
because
with.
it's in fact a liquid.
No, he's solid, though. That's the thing that's so weird. It's like, water's liquid, but Aquaman's solid, right? Weird. I thought it was good, but I seemingly, and I'd never realized this about myself, but looking back, I don't really respond well to, like, water guys at any company.
Yeah.
Like, there's no, like, underwater book. I think some of it is because the underwater stuff really tends to go pretty, like, fantasy-oriented. like your Namor and your Aquaman have a kind of like Conan vibe.
Yeah,
about
you're
their
right.
Undersea kingdoms.
You're definitely right.
And I don't care about fantasy stuff. Like, I'm not saying Aquaman needs to fight like a whale crime boss or whatever. Not to call out anyone in particular. I'll withhold the name of the writer who did that. But I thought the Sub Diego stuff was for Aquaman the thing that clicked the
Yeah,
most
I
for
was
me.
I was literally going to bring that up right now. That
Because
was
it
Will Pfeiffer.
Yeah, and it centers Aquaman. It's still underwater stuff, but it's like human being, North American society, undersea stuff.
Yeah.
So it just feels more relatable to me. I can
The
kind
same
of get
way
into it more.
my favorite Green Lantern stuff is on Earth and not in space.
Yeah, I'm 50-50 on that. I'm more of a sci-fi guy, so when they do outer space stuff, I can get into that more easily with alien civilizations than I can with like weird magical undersea kingdom stuff.
The irony of
Just
that
kinda
being
work for
Kai
me.
Rayner is your go-to Green Lantern, and his stuff is all centered on Earth.
I mean, he's my way in, but like I started with like Emerald Dawn and stuff too.
Sure.
You know? Mark Bright, man. And let's say a writer.
Definitely a writer.
A writer. You're not going to see Emerald Dawn reprinted anytime soon.
No. That's when people are referencing Guy Gardner because of the Superman trailer, and they show the Guy Gardner Warrior comics. Like, nope.
I wonder how quickly they'll get to that. I hope immediately. Just skip right over everything else. He immediately becomes like a weird chest tattooed
You got to put him in the denim.
yellow guy.
Give him the yellow ring and the denim outfit.
Yeah, the Sinestro ring.
Yeah. Well, with this being Christmas week, I want to thank everyone who shops with us, of course.
For sure.
But I definitely want to shout out the people that gave us stuff for Christmas,
Yeah.
which is never expected and never necessary.
No.
And
But
frequently,
always appreciated.
Yeah, always appreciated. Frequently, we feel like we don't deserve it, but
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to, when someone's giving you a gift, especially on a gift-giving holiday, it's hard to be like, you don't need to do this. But it's like, if they want to, I mean, I don't know.
yeah. But my first instinct is like, oh, we didn't get you anything.
Yeah, but I was going to say, like, there's a bunch of people in my life that either, like, don't live close to me or I'm friends with in a very, like, fandom sort of way. So I will give them a gift, but they don't have a way to give me a gift. And I don't expect a gift. My giving them a gift is not a reciprocal expectation. It's just, I know you'd appreciate this and I could do this for you, so I did this for you.
Sure, that's the whole point of gift giving.
Sure. And I think that's the part of my brain, because I'm like you normally, where it's like, there are people I give gifts to and they give gifts to me, and then there's people I don't give gifts to and they don't give gifts to me. So when there's a disparity like that, in my brain, I'm also, the reflex is to say, no, the reflex is to say, like, this is wrong, or like, this is not, you shouldn't do this, or it's rude of me to take it. But then it's like, no, this is all fine. Like, let people do things. It's fine.
I'm not looking for an answer to this, but I do question the way you said some people you give gifts to who don't have the ability to give you a gift.
Right.
Which I'm like, well, if you gave them a gift, they have the ability to give you a gift. I mean, I don't mean like they owe it to you. I mean, like, they have the capability of, I don't know, shopping or existing in the world.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Like,
but I don't.
There's stuff I've given digitally, or like I've sent things to people and I have their address, but they don't necessarily have mine. So it's
one of the things that comes up occasionally with people I give gifts to is that it's easier for us to find cool shit for people because of our jobs.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a few people I give gifts to where it's like, I do it because I know they would appreciate the stuff that we sell at the store, so it's very easy for me to pick a couple things and be like, here you go, Merry Christmas. I don't have to go anywhere special or like expend a lot of time or energy on it. I can just pick up a couple things off the shelf. I pack stuff up every day for people. It's not hard to do.
I've got a friend in Atlanta who, he's not specifically on my like Christmas gift giving list, but the last couple of years, over the span of the year, I see something like, oh man, that'd be perfect for Mike. So I'll get it for him and save it for Christmas. But as I explained to him this year, I'm like, I don't feel the need, like, I don't think of it as an obligation. Like, I got to get Mikey something for Christmas. It's like, oh, Mike would want that, so I get it.
Yeah, that's nice.
And half the time, it's something I get for myself as well.
There you go.
So it's not obligation. But anyway, thank you, Doris, for the candy.
Yes.
Which oh man, the candy. So it's so good.
It's so good.
The two perfect kinds. Thank you. Thank you, Michael, for the movie gift cards. That's again, something that will get put to use immediately.
Yeah, I mean, I think I looked at it and went, oh,
Specifically Captain America. Yeah.
Brave New World in the IMAX
Yeah.
at Regal.
Yep.
Hooray.
Thank you, Matt, for the paintings.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Not just for Dal and I, but smaller
Everybody.
paintings for everybody on staff.
Everybody.
And even some sketch cover art, too.
Yeah, those are cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Thank you, Diane, also for gift cards and candy.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Keith and Margie, for all the cookies.
Oh my gosh. I'm halfway through my little thing of cookies.
Your brown butter cookies.
My brown butter cookies.
I'm talking about the homemade ones.
And then the other cookies. I mean, obviously, so many other cookies.
Thank you, Carlton, for the homemade Christmas cookies, which they're basically all the ones my mom used to make.
Aw.
You know, slightly different, but the number of things that I'm like, no one makes those, but they're in here. And like, you know, short of rum balls, which I always hated and never ate, that my mom made, that were not in there. Great. Didn't want them. But yeah, that was such an amazing, like, these are different, but somebody else's tradition. And he gave them to us.
So great.
Like, that's amazing. And it brings up that it's specifically this point of the year. I don't mean Christmas. I mean the reader's best of lists.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm pretty sure voting is over.
Okay.
So I don't mind talking about it now.
Sure.
Because we're not soliciting your votes.
No.
There have been times in the past, especially when we were newer and a younger store,
Trying to get our name out there.
that we felt this stuff was valuable. So we'd go all in. And we won a bunch in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't won in a long time.
No.
And part of me is like, oh, well, it'd be nice to win.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean anything.
No.
Winning the best comic shop in Chicago doesn't mean anything. It's not going to make anybody who shops at a different store come to your store. They're not going to be like, oh, well, I got to quit going to Alley Cat because they're not the best store in the city.
And it ain't like a Michelin star, you know?
Right.
It's not like suddenly your business is going to go up drastically because people are like, that's the place to get comics.
I mean, the Michelin star was the Eisner, and it didn't do that.
No.
So the voting is like, if you voted for us, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's unnecessary. But what the better thing to me is the people that shop with us regularly and still do it. And when I reached out to Matt to thank him for those paintings,
And I did too.
he specifically said, thanks for being the coolest dudes in the best comic shop. And that, to me, that's better than a vote.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, those sort of personal relationships, I think, mean a lot more than, you know, some sort of recognition from a magazine or online voting or whatever.
But when you have people that bake cookies for you,
Mm-hmm.
like my sister Karen.
Thank you, Karen.
There you go.
I was doing it. I was looking for something.
I know, but you can talk and look.
I can't.
So just the people that like think about us outside of being in the store, and we do the same for our vendors, the people that, not our vendors, but the people that, you know, help us out during the year. Like we've talked about before, like the delivery drivers, you know?
Yep.
And we do send Christmas cards to a lot of potentially ridiculous places, like FedEx office.
You do, yes.
Like, no, the store does.
I know, but you personally physically do it.
Wilton Cleaners.
That's nice.
You know?
They didn't mention, I don't think, no, they did. They mentioned the card. They liked it a lot.
I mean, you go there all the time.
I do.
So
I go there every
you
week.
should thank them. So you do.
I do. Somehow I do.
My mechanic, who I haven't been to in like 2 years, he still gets a card.
That means he did good work.
Yeah.
If you don't got to go back.
Well, I only use him for big things, and luckily I haven't needed a big thing.
That's great.
He's not like, I don't go to him for oil changes or whatnot.
No. And I think he probably prefers that.
So I don't want to waste his time with that.
No.
But to me, that's what you do. And Christmas cards are a thing that I was raised on. My mom always did them and always had the whatever is up to Christmas letter.
Oh, really?
I don't do that.
No.
Maybe I'll do that next year as a joke and put it inside. But the Christmas cards this year, I mean, we gave out close to 400 in the store. And then...
Okay. I mean, we put a lot of a lot of cards in people's subscriber spots.
Okay. We didn't... Yeah, fine.
We'll see how many we actually gave out.
Right. Right. And then I mailed out an extra 250 40 something.
Oh my God. Internationally.
Which is a ton of work.
It's a lot of work.
And every year I say, you got to cut this list down. And toward the end of last week, you know what I was doing on like Friday? Making a list of all the people like, oh, I should send these people a card.
Oh my gosh.
And then reaching out and be like, hey, I don't have your address and you may not get this in time.
Oh my gosh.
You know, like people that I've met through comics.
Sure.
Or like childhood friends that I haven't. But anyway, because I was raised to show that you show someone you appreciate them.
Okay.
And when our customers do it to us, it feels weird. But I greatly appreciate it. So Christmas, the Christmas gifts we got from people, and if I forgot anybody, I'm terribly sorry. If there's
yeah, I mean, the names that you said all sounded like who I remembered.
Yeah.
I hope there wasn't anybody that we overlooked.
So we don't need your best of voting. We just need you.
Yeah, I mean, the people who come in regularly to pick up their subscriptions and try out new series and, you know, enjoy comics, that's the best. That's exactly what we're doing this for.
Yep. Now, as to how we are doing
really
for it, I said how. Did I say now or how?
I thought you said now.
Oh. I did both. Now as to how.
Yep.
Okay. Now, something. We had a good October and a good November.
Yep.
Things are trending up.
Yep.
And I thought, man, December is going to be so great because people are more excited for new comics and Christmas gifts.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got all the strengths of the last 2 months, which are, you know, largely single comics selling really well and people responding really well and a lot of new subscribers coming in for stuff. And then adding on to that, the kind of casual traffic you get for the holidays where it's people who maybe only come in a couple times a year to get graphic novels and toys and stuff for the people on their shopping lists.
So, of course, we are down from last year.
Yeah, so that didn't happen.
And last year wasn't a great December. Like I thought, I wasn't looking at us doing a record December, but I was looking at us beating last year, but we're not.
Yeah.
And after one of the things that surprised me most is that the build up to Christmas, as we know, has shrunk over the last decade, last 2 decades. So it's only the last couple of days before Christmas people come rushing in. But I was like, we really stocked. Okay, I need to stop stopping sentences in the middle. I said what I meant to say was I was surprised by how little we did of knickknacks because we had been stocking up all year long on stocking stuffer type things. Like not because they're stocking stuffers, but we've got a bunch of magnets in stock right now. We've got a bunch of blind bag stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be anecdotally, I thought the blind bag stuff did okay in that I frequently saw people bringing a couple of them up on top of everything else they're getting.
Stuff.
Yeah, well, we got multiple different Godzilla blind bags, so you know that's just the ratio of what you can take.
I also just ordered 2 boxes of those Godzilla head magnet blind bags that are coming out soon.
I didn't see those. And honestly, we even sold some of the other, like the Star Wars holiday blind bag keychain things that came out like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
That we were like, why is this coming out in the summertime?
We really didn't sell many holiday pops.
No.
And this year's crop of holiday pops were the best ones they've done yet.
Yeah, but I think, and you and I talked about this earlier, I think with the holiday pops, I think it was the thing the first year when people saw them, they were like, oh my God, this is a great idea. And now it's become so normalized that people mostly don't care.
They don't need more and more.
Yeah,
and
they
more.
got the ones they wanted if they wanted them. And some people have never seen them before, so they'll sell a few each year. But like, in general, with the pops, I think we could probably get away with doing like maximum of 2 for almost any pop.
I mean, we're doing a lot less.
We are.
We like pops went cyclical for a minute. Like we had way too many.
Yeah.
So we cut back on ordering, and we had too many in storage. Then now we have none in our storage locker, save for 6 big buckets. And we had a ton of room. Now, you know, we still got plenty of room to adjust. It doesn't help when, you know, 3 months worth of pops come out in the same a week. Yeah,
there's definitely a feast or famine thing to the release of Funko Pops through Diamond, maybe through everybody. I can't speak to other vendors. We get our stuff through Diamond. And so, yeah, when you get, you know, a wave of pops one week and then another wave of pops the next week, and then you get some oversized pops the week after that, it can feel like, and especially because pops for us, it's not a thing that we sell like half of them the first week.
No, they are not a new this week item.
Yeah, we might sell one or two, and then everything moves into the main pop display, and then they get picked away at over time. Sometimes they will sell rapidly, like I think some of those Godzilla ones that we got in. I think in about 3 weeks, they were pretty much all gone.
Yeah.
As opposed to some superhero ones where we might get, 3 of a particular design in, and that may take us a year to sell them.
Like, I'm okay going up higher on the classic Marvel figures, and they've just done a relaunch,
They
like
did.
a re-release, an updated version of
Yep.
a lot of them. But so many people I know who were all in on Pops reached a point where they're like, I can't do anymore. I got to get rid of what I have.
Yeah, and there's niche stuff for sure, but like that kind of bites us in the ass because we can't really carry the niche stuff because there might be one person who would be like, oh my God, I love this. I got to get these. And no one else will care. And I mean, literally one person. So it's like, can you carry a line of Pops thinking one of your customers might be interested in it? That seems like a really bad gamble. Like, people can pre-order stuff. Most people don't, especially as far as Pops are concerned. So yeah, it's a market I'm kind of fine losing out on potentially, I guess.
Sure.
Because this gets to kind of a core challengers thing of like, I would rather gamble on comics and graphic novels, not on non-comics merchandise.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Like, if we get burned on, the Emma Rios hardcover that we thought people were going to be crazy about and was making a lot of people's like best of lists, and most people at Challengers didn't care. I'm still like, she's a good artist.
Yeah.
This book deserves to exist. Hopefully people will find it in time. But when we get stuck with like 3 Pops, which financially is a lot less of a buy-in than a bunch of, Image hardcovers, I feel like, oh my God, I want to burn them. I want to set them on fire and melt them down because I'm like, I can't believe we wasted our money on this. I don't feel that way with comics.
Where if you burned the graphic novels, which you should never burn books,
No.
but at least there's the potential for warmth as opposed to releasing deadly toxins into the air from burning Pops, from the melting plastics and the.
Yeah, I guess. And it's also warm. It can be warm too.
Yeah, but it's
I
not.
I wouldn't warm your hands over them because then the toxins are going to go into your nose
Yeah.
and mouth, and you can asphyxiate.
But
Or we can just not order them. I'm just saying, that's
the.
the other option.
Or just take
Yeah.
the cash, throw that right in the fire.
Patrick, I thought I was shopping at a comic shop, not a pop shop.
Oh,
What was it?
wow.
How's the line go?
Yes, that's basically it.
Yeah, so it was weird. So you and I worked kind of the 2 different halves of the last kind of week of Christmas.
Yeah.
You did the Friday and Saturday. I did the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah.
And so I think Sunday for me was,
You get more desperation shopping.
yeah, oh my gosh. We'll go over that. Sunday for me was kind of, it wasn't really busy. There were definitely gaps in time where I'm like, wow, I thought we'd be crowded from bell to bell, but there were like a chunk of time where it's like, oh, I can get a lot of work done. That's a nice surprise, but also kind of a terrifying surprise. Monday was really busy. Monday was very busy. Tuesday was, I don't work every Christmas Eve, obviously, because of the way they land on the calendar. Sometimes they land on days I don't work. So I don't have a sense of like what every Christmas Eve is like, but this one felt a little busier
Well,
in the beginning part of the day and then a little slower at the end.
if you take away the after-hours sales,
Mhm.
which would be subscribers paying for their weekly books on the website,
Right.
you basically did the same as last year.
Which is weird because I think last year it was on Monday?
No,
No, it was on a Sunday.
It's Sunday.
Which feels weird because I feel like a Sunday should be better.
Busier. Yeah, but I mean, Christmas Eve is never a huge sales day.
No.
It's a day, but it's
Yeah.
never a record-breaking
Yeah.
day.
Monday especially was busy for me, the 23rd, because a lot of the traffic that came in was very like, I need to get something for my cousin and they like sports. And it was a lot of,
just all the slam dunk mangas
Yeah.
we care. Oh wait, no.
or it would be a thing of like, I think they like Marvel stuff. Okay, sure. I mean, newer stuff, older stuff. Like I can show you a few different books.
Let me show you Sectaris from Oni.
And the problem that happens a lot on those days, the last few days before Christmas, the thing that makes it especially difficult to give recommendations is that a lot of what you're being given is very uncertain information. It's people buying for people they don't know very well. They're not, it's a part of their lives they're not super familiar with. So there's a lot of hedging and there's a lot of, they're not
You got Captain America on your variant cover.
Did it's an Avengers cover.
Yeah.
But like the thing that you want when you're giving a recommendation is give me some feedback on this. Like, here's 2 books that I'm recommending. Which one do you like? Which one do you not like for this gift that you're giving, and why? So that way we can narrow this down and we can get closer to something that you're going to feel comfortable giving as a gift. But it's a lot of like, I'll know it when I see it sort of stuff. And it's like, that is not helpful. I cannot walk you through our entire inventory and explain every single item so you can be like, that's the one.
Was it you that I was talking to about the fundamentals of recommendations when you should only ever have 2 things?
Mm-hmm.
Because there was a study that was done basically, and I forgive me, I don't remember if this is you. I don't think it was, but it was.
I don't think so. This is not
if you, let's say you have graphic novels you want to recommend,
mm-hmm.
and you have 4 you want to recommend,
mm-hmm.
you don't recommend all 4. You recommend 2. Then if they're uncertain, you take one of those away and replace it with a new one.
Mm-hmm.
Like the study showed that if you gave them too many options, they bought nothing.
Right.
But if it was
Choice
always
paralysis,
just, what was it?
Choice paralysis.
But if you always just give them 2,
mm-hmm.
they buy something, sometimes 2.
Yeah, I mean, that gets to a study that was done. I can't remember. Hyperchoice, I think was what it was called.
So who was I talking to?
Originally.
I can't remember. And I'm sorry, I've forgotten who you were.
It was basically on the model of like varieties of potato chips.
Yeah.
Where if people see 2 varieties of potato chips or 3 or 4 or 5, it's fine. But once you see a whole row of potato chips,
Doritos.
You can't make a choice. You can't decide which of all of these choices is the one for me. When if the choices were narrowed into a smaller selection, it's easier for you to say
in my head.
that. Salt and vinegar. I know.
No, for something different.
Oh, okay. Great.
Yeah.
I'm into it. So yeah, and that's generally like I want to recommend, like if someone comes in, we had a few times where it's somebody, I got to get something for my dad. He likes comics. He likes science fiction. Has your dad read Saga?
Sure.
Saga's one of our best-selling books of the last decade. It continues to sell great. They're halfway through the series. There's a ton of material. So somebody who came in with a very, like, I don't know, sensibility bought the Saga compendium for their dad.
Speaking of Saga, remember how I said there'd be no new Saga for the rest of 2024?
Yep.
The next issue comes out January 1st.
Yep. BKV was right. They couldn't get it printed and into stores until January.
That's correct.
January 1st.
January 1st. There you go.
Didn't have to wait that long.
So overall, here is my reason why our gift sales were down for December.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very specific reason. And it's not a surprise. I already told you what it was.
Yeah, that's why I'm not saying it.
Yeah. It's Barnes & Noble. There's a brand new Barnes & Noble that's about 4 blocks away from us that opened up in the end of October.
It was the next Blue Line stop south of us.
Yeah, right at that Blue Line stop.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that gift shopping was done there because people can get more gifts there than they can get from us because...
And coffee.
They've got books and things. Is Barnes & Noble known for coffee? I don't think so, Dal. You're thinking of volumes. Barnes & Noble is a bookstore and a teenager hangout.
When you'd mentioned to me that you thought Barnes & Noble was a factor in so this is the thing that I kind of want to clarify. The people who shop with us normally, I think, did all the normal gift shopping that they would normally do
100%.
with us. So it's not like we
no
lost
complaints there.
There's kind of 3 things that happen in December. There's our normal...
Dal, we can only have 2 choices.
There's our normal comic sales. I'll take one away. There's our normal comic sales. There's people who shop with us normally getting gifts, and there's people who don't shop with us normally getting gifts.
Yeah.
It's the third thing that we really saw a decrease in, and I noticed it without really putting it together a few days before Christmas because I was looking around and I realized usually like the last week of Christmas is a lot of my kid reads manga, what manga should I get them? And while that happened a little bit, it didn't happen a lot. And more crucially, last year specifically, we got cleaned out of manga. There were a whole series that's just like, I got nothing left. This year, not so much. Like a day before Christmas, I could still sell you 2 copies of Kaiju number 8, volume 1. Like there's stuff that was out of stock and there's stuff that we had to run on, but not like the whole manga section like we would traditionally have. And I think a lot of that is because the manga audience would just migrate over to Barnes & Noble because they probably have as many books in their manga section as we have in our graphic novel section.
Yeah.
I haven't been to that store. Wild guess.
We should probably go scope that out just to see what we're dealing with, even though I'm hesitant to do so.
Sure. I mean, I think it's a good idea. You had mentioned it before, and I really wanted to avoid it during the holiday season, though. I did not want to go in there in December because I thought it would just be not representative of what that store is like normally.
Oh, I thought just because you were afraid you'd see people that normally shop with us for gifts.
No. Because, again, a lot of the people that didn't come in and would have gone to Barnes & Noble instead would be people I wouldn't even recognize.
And there have been Barnes & Nobles in the city before, but never this close to us.
Yeah, and also brand new. I think that's part of it.
And I was talking to River at Goblin Market, and they had said the same thing because a new Barnes & Noble opened up near them.
Yeah.
And that they took a hit as well.
Yeah, I had thought about it in advance of Christmas, just in a general, like, this is going to affect our manga sales. Like, I was on the train and I was passing by that Barnes & Noble, and I thought, yeah, there's probably a lot of manga fans that are just going to end up there instead. Not because they don't have any specific loyalty to Challengers. They just read manga, and this is a place that has manga, and it might have more manga than we have. I don't know what the ordering process is like for Barnes & Noble. I would assume they probably have a lot more priority if they go through the distributors we do, and they probably don't even do that. They probably get directly from different publishers. So they might have the ability to source stuff a little better and faster than we do, and they also have more space, and they have a lot more money. But I'm not going to try and compete with Barnes & Noble. That's a fool's errand.
Of course.
It's like saying you're competing with Amazon. You're not. No matter what you do, you are not competing with Amazon. That's not how it works. But what you can offer is other stuff, and you can offer a different kind of vibe, I think, that hopefully is pleasant or at least compelling to people. I told you, Patrick, this story. One of the last groups that we had in on Christmas Eve was a family, mom, dad, 2 kids, older little girl, younger little boy. And they looked around and they got a bunch of stuff. I think everyone in the family got a graphic novel, which was pretty cool. And I was told by the dad as they were leaving, as they were kind of getting ready to leave, that it was the little girl who had suggested they go to Challengers. And that's something she wanted to do on Christmas Eve. Like, she picked like an activity for Christmas Eve, and it was go to Challengers.
That's great. That is so great.
And that was a very, very sweet way to kind of end the holiday season. That can at times be emotionally and physically draining.
Yeah.
But no, that was little things like that.
And I countered with the story of longtime Challengers supporter, Ryan Voss, has a young child, Reed, who got some building toys for Christmas. And he was immediately building a structure. And his mom said, "Oh, what are you building?" And he said, "Challengers."
Amazing.
Right?
That's great. Stuff like that's cute. I love it.
Goodbye, Mr. Turtle. So yeah, it feels like Barnes & Noble was and they probably have blind bags and knickknacks and things too. Who knows? Or people just didn't. The people that would buy those things weren't in our store.
Yeah, and
the people that would randomly buy that as, I need something, the desperation buys.
And also, I mean, this goes above and beyond the larger possibility of more and more people have migrated online for their shopping needs.
Yeah.
Some people prefer to shop locally when possible. And certainly the last few days of Christmas Amazon might not get it to you. But yeah, I mean, there's plenty of people who came in and they kind of showed me like the Amazon wish list that somebody made up and like, do you have any of these? And it was nice to kind of
take a sale away from them.
Yeah, to take a bite out of Amazon for just a little bit.
Every year I used to keep a list of the gifts that I bought for people, but how I sourced them. Mm-hmm. Was it online? Was it on a store's website?
Yeah.
Like a general, so the different online, like, did I go to an online source that has multiple stores? Did I go to like the Sephora website for my niece?
Right.
Did I go into a Sephora?
Oh, okay.
Or did I get a handmade good from, I was going to say a local artist, but just like an artist or a crafts person? Like, did I get something homemade from someone? Like, am I supporting the individual makers versus the mega corporations?
Yeah, I mean, I've done Etsy stuff in the past. I don't think this year I really did. I think mostly because like I didn't have like a strong idea of what I wanted for anyone that would have been like handmade.
I didn't think of this in time, but I had just ordered myself a couple of new Christmas ties for next year and Christmas socks for next year. Because, of course, Christmas was yesterday. Of course I'm doing that now.
Have you updated your Giftster list in forever?
Yeah, it was updated. It was...
So I went to it.
Yeah.
With the link I have, unless you have like a different one. I thought it was this year's. Because I was like,
it should be the
I'll try and get him something off of there. And one of the things that you had on there, I'm like, oh, let me get this. Go to the website. That doesn't exist anymore. It was the Captain America rug that you own.
No, it's not the one that I own. It is, Dal. That was Captain America #1. I own Captain America 193.
The Rob Liefeld one? Why?
Also, it's a much smaller size.
Okay, they don't make it anymore.
I know, because I just double-clicked on that one this morning. And
if they still made it, you would have gotten it for Christmas.
Well, okay, you didn't do your research because you could have just uploaded the picture and they would have done it.
Not by the time I was doing it.
Okay. So that specific cover had sold out.
Yeah.
And a lot of the classic Marvel covers had sold out.
Uh-huh.
They have a lot of weird generic, like, here's a Spider-Man image, but it's turned into a cover. Not a cover.
Yeah.
But they also did like, hey, you can do your own.
Right.
But yeah, that one was a much smaller rug.
Okay.
Everything else on the list, and I did take it off the list.
Sure.
Okay, but everything else on that list was new for this year, and I got a bunch of it.
Yeah, I mean, that was the other problem, was that other, like, the bigger items people had already kind of marked off.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, well, what's left is not a substantial haul.
So that's the thing. I have to, for, my family does a grab bag, so there's got to be a higher ticket item, like a $70
you gotta have
item.
different tiers.
Yeah. But like, the Godfather gift from my nieces and nephew, there's got to be some like $10 stuff in there.
Cologne. Orthopedics.
Oh no, the cologne is super expensive.
Oh, okay.
In fact, I had, knowing that I didn't get any, I already had one reserved on a website.
Yeah.
And I went to go buy it today.
Uh-huh.
And the price had gone up by $40. I'm like, what the hell? They're like, oh yeah, this is really in demand right now. I'm like, delete.
I will smell worse.
I did. I literally thought like, all right, let me go through my Giftster list and start buying myself the stuff that I didn't get. Then I realized, like the only thing I really want that I didn't get were the pull-out cabinet drawers.
Okay.
And I needed 9 of those, but all different sizes.
Sure.
Because my kitchen cabinets go so deep that I can't reach everything in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And these are like, they slide out.
Okay.
But anyway, Christmas is over.
It is. Defeated. Once again.
No more of that. But yes,
Santa Claus has his Odin sleep. That's how it works, right?
Yeah. But it's his Santa sleep. There you go. So yeah, Barnes & Noble was interesting, and I wonder how much of a factor this is going to be moving forward. Boy, I hope they don't do Free Comic Book Day.
Maybe. I don't know.
But you know what they don't have?
What's that, Patrick?
Access to the really cool people that we have access to.
Like who?
Like Ryan Brown E. and Charles Soule E.
Of Silent EE production.
For our Lucky Devils #1 release signing.
Yes.
Which we are doing on Saturday, January 11th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And what started as just a Ryan Brown signing is now and Charles Soule signing. Charles Soule's
keep him away.
Yep. So this is going to be a lot like the AJ Mendez and Amy Garcia signing we did, where we're going to convert sidekicks into the signing area. But there is a specific rule. There's few rules, but there's one main rule for this event, and it's a very important one, which we are making sure to put on all of the information for this, including the banners in the window, including the flyers, to get a book signed, to get anything signed.
Yeah, if you bring 8 billion genies from home.
To get anything signed, you have to buy Lucky Devils #1 from Challengers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's not a 1-to-1 ratio. If you bring all 8 issues of 8 Billion Genies and you want to get all 8 of them signed, fine. You have to buy 1 copy of Lucky Devils #1, any cover.
So this is a question. What if somebody buys it the Wednesday it comes out from us?
Then you ask for a receipt and you keep that receipt and you show it to us.
Okay. That's a good idea.
You and I don't work Thursdays. What if somebody buys them on Thursday and comes in?
We will leave a note for the people who work Thursday to say,
make sure
if they want to get it signed, just give everybody who gets a Lucky Devils #1 a receipt and let them know if they want to get this signed, they need to bring their receipt back with them, or they're going to have to buy another copy at the event.
Yeah, That's the only way we can keep it track.
Yeah,
But
that's fair. Also, we could have just said, like, it doesn't matter if you buy one on Wednesday, you have to buy a different one on Saturday.
and we're not doing that.
Right. That's why
Yeah.
I thought I'd ask.
Yeah.
That's how
But
some places would do it. Like, imagine if you're an author on a book tour.
Oh, yeah.
And you go to see an author, it doesn't matter if you bought the book from that bookstore the previous day. You're at the event. You're buying it at the event. So we are not even doing that. We are letting people pre-buy their copy Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then bring it back on Saturday.
the amount of money we lose on most events is making events prohibitive.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just a way to not lose money on an event.
Right.
But also to kind of make the event a bigger deal, because if you keep giving something away, you're devaluing it.
True. So that's the rule, but there's also some fun benefits.
Yes.
Another way to look at the rule that we have that you have to buy Lucky Devils is that if you buy a Lucky Devils #1, you can get all your stuff signed by Charles and Ryan.
But that's not all, Dal.
Yeah, Ryan Brown, kindness of his heart. Normally a guy who charges a bunch of money for remarking books. He's told us, we tried to warn him off of this. Patrick specifically was like, no, don't do that. But Ryan literally insisted. Anything that you buy at the event that Ryan and Charles have worked on
Together,
Ryan will do a sketch on the cover.
yeah, not super detailed sketch. You'll get
Right.
something quick.
Yeah, it's not going to be like a full interior.
But if you bring in copies of any Star Wars thing Charles has written, Ryan is not going to draw on that.
No, but if you buy Lucky Devils #1, the Curse Words Compendium, or the 8 Billion Genies hardcover during the event, Ryan will do a little cover sketch on those.
Yeah. So keep in mind, it's the things that you buy from us, he will sketch in.
And I mean, those are the three things that we're going to have from both.
Yeah.
We will have the Curse Words Compendium, we will have the 8 Billion Genies Volume 1 hardcover, and we will have multiple different covers for Lucky Devils #1. The A cover by Ryan, the B cover by Frank Miller, the B cover that's blank, the incentive covers.
Yep. Just not the fancy drawn on by Charles and Ryan cover, because that won't come out for a while.
Yeah, exactly. That has to be drawn on first.
Exactly.
That'll come out a little later.
Yeah. So it'll be our first big event of the year,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll see how it goes. We are, again, converting sidekicks into their room. I will be at a table with checking people out that need to buy Lucky Devils 1.
Like a pervert?
I will be ringing people up
Yeah, there you
like a pervert.
go. Ooh, you want a lucky devil, you lucky
Who's
devil.
the lucky devil now, huh? Oh my God. Why could I not just leave that alone? He was right there. I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it. Could have been so much worse, though.
Could have.
It won't be.
Okay.
Toward the end of the year, the podcasts always get very, hey, thanks for everything you've done this year for us.
Sure.
But really,
A little reflective.
thank you for letting us do this for another year. There were points in
the podcast
2024.
or the challengers?
The challengers.
Okay, good.
They're not letting us do the podcast. They're making us do the podcast. There were points during 2024 it looked pretty rough.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're really looking like from May on of next year, we have real high hopes.
Real high hopes.
Yeah. We just got to get there.
Yeah.
We got to get there. But yeah, man, we're coming up on 17 years of this store, which
Crazy.
is mind-blowing.
More and more people I am overhearing in the store talking about how they haven't been in since they were children, and these are adults now.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God. I mean, it's, on the one hand, it's gratifying.
Sure.
To feel like you're a part of the community, to feel like you have an identity within your neighborhood, that you are the Bucktown comic shop, that, you are a fixture. But then my bones start to turn to dust, and my face shrinks and withers, and I crawl back into my casket, and I feel so old, so goddamn old, so old.
Yeah, people just keep growing and getting older.
Mm-hmm.
Time passes.
It does.
I can never tell if it feels like Christmas came too quickly or took way too long.
Too quickly, I thought.
Yeah.
It never felt like a real lengthy season. And next year's going to be pretty much the same, where like Thanksgiving super late in the month, and then like Christmas is right around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, Thanksgiving is slowly backing up one day a year.
Right. That's how the calendar works.
Yeah. But this time it jumped because of a leap year.
Yeah. Stupid leap.
But also, I missed a year. I missed a week.
I'm sorry?
I missed a week of Christmas.
Were you working as a
here.
handyman in a small hotel?
I was. I stayed at this hotel. Things needed to be done. I just wanted game night with Anita. That's all.
It was a really good episode of Doctor Who. If anybody hasn't watched it, Joy to the World on the
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. This year's Doctor Who special was
BBC if you're in the UK.
very strong. That was a very strong outing for Shudigawa.
Oh, and this is, I posted about this on Facebook, but this is not a comic related thing at all. One of my favorite things in the world is the "We're just normal men" meme.
It's good.
And it's
very funny.
It's an 8-year-old meme now. It was November of
Endlessly
2016.
watchable. But it really blew up like the last few years, I feel
there, specifically
It
on Instagram,
resurfaced.
for me, there is an Instagram account that posts that clip every Monday, and that's all they post. Every Monday morning they post that.
Perfect.
And every Monday morning it's top of my feed, and every Monday morning I watch it and I like it.
It's so good.
So
Such a brilliant moment.
it's such a really good, and then there's articles written about, if you don't know
my
what
God.
I'm talking about, just Google "We're just normal men."
Yeah, it'll
meme.
come up right away.
Yeah. And it's just fun and lighthearted and joyful.
And a completely bizarre, inexplicable television moment.
Yeah.
Live television moment.
Yeah. Well, the woman involved, Lauren Layfield,
Not the puppet.
that's Hacker the dog.
Okay. Just to be clear.
Hacker Q dog? Hacker T dog? Just Hacker.
Okay.
So Lauren Layfield, in the many roles she's had in her career, she's been a broadcaster, and she joined BBC Radio 1 in January of 2024. Not in a capacity that I listen to all the time. She had a weekly Sunday self-help show, but also fills in when needed.
Sure.
And whenever she was filling in and I was listening, I would message in because I thought it would be the coolest thing in the world to get a shout out from the woman from that meme that I watch all the time.
Yes. Without saying that's why you were reaching
Oh,
out.
of course not. No.
You don't want to make it weird.
If you say that, you don't deserve it.
No, and also she will absolutely ignore that.
Right. And anytime that I message a DJ, it's because I have something specific I want to say or something relating to what they're doing. Not just, "Hi, Greg, I think you're swell. Thanks." So I tried multiple times, and she was filling in from 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. the days leading up to Christmas. Our time, not their time.
Yeah, okay, because that'd be weird.
Yeah.
That would suck.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So 10 to 2 her time. Wait, is that right? 4? Yeah. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So basically after the breakfast show. She was the Ricky, Melvin, and Charlie of that time period. And she was only on Monday and Tuesday this week. So I tried Monday and it didn't work. I didn't get anything. And then because I was still listening, I also messaged into Sam and Danny, your favorites. Hello, lovers. And I didn't get anything from them either, which is fine. I was just responding to, because they have I won't go into it. It's not comic related. So I'm like, man, Tuesday is my last chance for this year because Lauren's off the rest of the year.
Yep.
I got it.
Christmas Eve Miracle.
Christmas Eve Miracle. I got a shout out from Lauren
Perfect.
on Christmas Eve.
Perfect.
And it just made me so stupidly happy. And I thought, what's wrong with you?
That is such a Patrick thing to do, is to work hard, achieve something, and then immediately be like, what are you doing? Why can't you just enjoy
what
it?
did I achieve?
You spent a year trying to get a DJ in another country to mention you on the radio, and she did.
I did say I spent a year. It was probably 5 tries.
But still,
Yeah.
the duration of time is still a year, and it happened on the last possible chance. That's good. This is a good thing. It's okay to be happy.
I was.
I don't
very
just
happy
no.
for
I
it.
don't just mean about this. I mean at all. It's okay to be happy.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
reading comics.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Oh, wait. You know what? I forgot something. I had this sitting here this whole time.
Oh, no.
For this whole bit about customers doing nice things to us.
Mhm.
So here's a Christmas card we got from patrons from Joseph Coco and Becca Hilburn, who, of course, did
nice.
one of our bookmarks.
They did.
And I think I need to isolate this next bit and then play it every Christmas because it is a poem that you'll find very familiar, but tailored to us.
Okay.
'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the store, not a let me start again. I fucked it up.
Wow. Take two.
Yeah. I can't isolate and play it every year if I fuck it up. 'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the store, not a reseller was complaining, which hadn't happened before. The bags and boards were hung by the register with care, till tariffs raised prices and caused quite a scare. Now they're grumbling these prices while bagging their Thor, though they'll still buy 6 variants, then ask for 4 more. But we're spreading good cheer despite all their frets, 'cause nothing stops flipping, not even trade deficits.
That's great. That was really good. I had speaking of resellers, and I know this episode's running long, but this is a quick anecdote. So one of the things that makes me happy in this world, there's a lot of things that make me happy in this world.
Is it Lauren Layfield snorting?
No.
It should be.
I do like that. It's good. When she busts up,
Yeah.
she knows what's happening and she can't stop it. It's good.
And then the dog tries to be like, "Oh, I'm laughing too hard. You do this next one," and she just doesn't do it.
Jeff the Landshark. I'm a gigantic fan of Guru Hero as creators, and I've loved all the It's Jeff stuff that they've done with Kelly Thompson. And it's been very exciting to see a lot of people discover Jeff the Landshark as a concept and a creation, largely through Marvel Rivals, which is a game that I tried and quickly realized that I have no facility for hero shooters, nor do I have the capacity to learn. So I just have to let that one go. But people are going crazy over Jeff the Landshark, and that's beautiful. The negative consequence of that is that Jeff the Landshark does not have a lot of comic books. So people are snapping up the comic books featuring Jeff the Landshark and reselling them for more money. So it's been disappointing to see that our stock of It's Jeff and It's Jeff, the Jeffverse, dwindled to nothing overnight. Not on the back of people saying like, "Oh, I want to read Jeff comics," and getting to enjoy them, but because resellers were buying them up 2 at a time. And it just solidified in my mind that there's no winning in that scenario for a store. Like, either we keep them at a low price, cover price, to let hopefully people discover them and not feel like they're being taken advantage of. But then we end up losing them all to resellers who are going to be selling them for more money online. Or we can raise them and make that money ourselves, and I'll feel like a colossal asshole because a lot of people who want to learn about Jeff instead are confronted by like, I'm selling them for $14 because that's what they're going for online. And I want to make it impossible for resellers to make money buying them off of us and reselling them. So that was kind of the push and pull of like, oh, a good thing happened because of a transmedia property. And then people in the comics industry ruined it. And it's like, that won't matter next summer when the Jeff collection comes out of the 3 comic books that have been released. But that doesn't do me any good right now when people are very excited about this because of a video game.
Yep.
And we still have, I think, It's Jeff Venomore, my least favorite of the 3, but still a good comic book, and we have it at cover price. But yeah, the collections of the Marvel Unlimited strips, gone. Some of them because people bought them and enjoyed them, and some of them because people bought them to resell them for a bunch more money. So thank you, resellers, for continuing to be a gigantic nuisance. Even into 2024, even into the goddamn holiday season. You monsters. I hope Jeff devours you and then spits you out.
He's too powerful.
It's so good that people are annoyed by Jeff in a video game. Like, I really love that idea.
Sorry, Andrew.
Not just Andrew. Jeff's so popular, one of the first events they did for Marvel Rivals was an all Jeff event.
Wow.
Where everyone plays as Jeff, I think. I didn't play the game, I don't know.
I did have one other quick thing I wanted to mention to see if anybody had any feedback. The last 2 weeks have been, the podcast has been edited by an app called Cleanvoice.
Ooh.
I tried a month trial. It goes through and evens out the audio, and it's supposed to pull out all, basically it does all the things I do. It's supposed to pull out all the ums and ahs and take away a lot of the dead space.
Okay.
What it also does, I found out last week, is it completely chews up any background music you have. So don't let it edit your theme song.
Oh, whoops.
Because it doesn't translate that as a voice.
Oh, sure.
And what it spit out was almost demonic.
Oh, no. AI!
It isn't doing what I would hope it would have done. Like, it's not doing all those things it said it was doing.
Oh, that sucks.
But I'm curious if anybody's noticed that it sounds cleaner.
Okay.
Or,
like Kenny Omega?
In fact, clearer.
Oh, better.
It is clean voice, not clear voice. Clean, is it? Clean voice. It's clean voice. And I will use it again today, but I have to just do it for this, not the intro, not the outro,
just
not whatever the cold open is.
Two-person recording.
Yeah. Which, defeats kind of the purpose of.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
And it's going to make it harder when I do, I'll have to clean it and then next episode put in the patron thanks and stuff like that. So anyway, I'm going to assume that no one really noticed a difference. And that means I'll probably stop paying down $10 a month for that.
Maybe. There's
plenty of services that offer things, but this was the one that was affordable for the amount that we use.
Sure.
I need something that gives me at least 5 hours of editing per month.
Okay.
And this was one that fit our budget.
Nice.
So we'll see. Anyway, thanks. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. All that kind of stuff.
Bye.
This has been Contest of Challengers. Thanks for listening. Keep reading comics. Challengers is located at 1845 Northwestern Avenue in the Bucktown neighborhood of Chicago. 773-278-0155. Keep up to date with new releases and events at challengerscomics.com. And help fund this podcast at patreon.com/challengers.